Hey everybody. So, I'm here. This will probably be like a more than one compilation of videos. Um this video, I haven't really named it yet. I'm filming it right now, but I haven't really named it. But the theme of the video, let me make sure I'm straight. The theme of the video is family trauma and abuse. Sometimes trauma and abuse in family isn't physical or sexual. Sometimes we go through abuse that's mentally and physically effective. I'm here to tell my story. I don't know what... This is my perception and my experience. And my experience and my perception of my family is valid. So I'm going to start right now. I'm going to go right in. I'm going back in, you know. Like Moneybag said, I'm going back in. Today and yesterday was very hard for me. Well, you know, dealing with my dad's family is hard. My mother's family has always been there for me. Regardless if they were hard on me, they have always been there for me, and they've always treated me with love. They've always supported me. My mother, she's an addict, and that's the reason why I chose the streets. So this is kind of like me telling y'all exactly who Hood Talk is and why I'm Hood Talk. I didn't grow up in the hood. I grew up in the projects, the same projects that I raised my children in. My family comes from a well-to-do family, as well as my father's family. My father never married my mother. He's been married 4 times, but he never married my mother. I'm his only daughter. I'm his first child. Let's get that understood. Our relationship has been very turbulent. If you ask me, it's because I believe that my mother gave him the business, and I think, this is just me, I believe that I remind him a lot of my mother. But I do also know that I have one father, right? And abuse does not come all the time in physical or sexual form. Abuse can come in forms of mental, emotional, and psychological. And I have been abused by my father's family emotionally, mentally, and psychologically. And when I say that I've been abused by them, I can say from the age of 13. And because they've given money here and there, they think that that's okay. Because they've come to the rescue a couple of times, they feel that it's okay. But my mom's family have stayed consistent with me. I'm not an easy person to deal with. I'm very strong-minded. I'm very, I wouldn't rebellious. I'm rebellious. I ain't gonna lie. I'm rebellious. I can own my shit. I'm rebellious as fuck. And the things that I did in my 20s, I was a parent at 18. I got pregnant when I was 17. I've been to prison. I've sold dope. I've been a stripper. I've sold pussy. I've been in the military. I've done hair. And right now, I'm a part of a group that supports women. And right now, I'm entering the financial sector. So, right now, I'm gonna show y'all the messages that started all of this. But this has been before the messages, though. I want y'all to know that these messages didn't start the spiral. This spiral has been happening, and this is my story, okay, y'all? No one has to agree with it. No one has to cheer me on. No one has to tell my story. This is my story. My father is, to me, a womanizer. He's a womanizer. He doesn't like women. He has said things to me that I've never told the family. Because I'm not. That's my daddy. I'm not a bone carrier. I'm not a bone collector. But I'm not gonna be silenced. And right now I feel like I'm being bullied by my father's family. And I'm being bullied. And I'm being silenced. And I'm not. My throat chakra works perfectly. Y'all know that it does. And I'm going to use my throat chakra to tell my story. Because can't nobody tell my story the way I tell my story. And whatever they feel like they want to do after this video, that's fine. It's cool. Because we finna get into it. Okay? We're finna get into it. Right now, I'm gonna... It all started with... Okay, so I got inducted into the Sisterhood Investment Group in Dallas, Texas. We did a photo shoot. It was SID Day. I sent my baby brother the picture first. I sent all the people that matter first. I sent the picture first. And I'm going to show y'all the picture. This is the picture. I sent messages as well as of me getting my... I'm gonna post everything for y'all. I'm gonna post all the messages of the videos that I sent the family first. I'm gonna send you I'm gonna put that in the video. So here is all the videos and the messages that they got from me before the picture was sent out. And the only person that said something was my dad. He was like, "You look beautiful," as you can see in the messages. So when I sent the photo shoot photo, my stepmother had a problem with me sending the picture in the family message for whatever reason. If you ask me, it was some hater shit, or she's calling my brother and my daddy perverts. I don't know what it is. Because for me, I don't feel like it was nothing wrong with the picture. But for her, and her experience is valid, she felt it was something wrong with it. Cool. So, the next day, yesterday, my baby brother has it's his birthday. He just had a baby. Beautiful baby. I'm so proud of my little brother, my baby brother. I have two brothers by my dad. One of them, we don't get along. And the reason we don't get along, in my opinion, is because my father has pit me and him against each other. For whatever reason, it's cool. You know, it is what it is. We'll get into that later. But I believe that my father has pit my brother against me for whatever reason. I don't know why, but we're going to get into that. So, here are the messages that started the shit off. And so now, I'm going to show y'all. Because they did a mockery of me. and my podcast. They saw the video of me and Octavia, which is Octavia is one of the women, the daughter of one of the women that my father has left my stepmother for. So I did a video with Octavia. Didn't say nothing about my daddy or nothing. Say nothing about the family. I just said, you know how black families go. That's all I said. Y'all can go back and watch that video. Then the next video, me and my childhood friend Tamara were talking, and we were talking about family, the aesthetics of womanhood, and how we raise our daughters. Because she has a daughter and I have one too. So those are the videos and shorts. They also saw shorts of my podcast. And so what they decided to do was go and make a podcast of my podcast to, I guess, in response. I don't know what it was in response to, because to be honest with y'all, my dad's family don't like me. They love me. I know that they love me, but they don't like me. For whatever reason, like, y'all, I was a fool in my 20s. I made a lot of bad choices and bad decisions, but I also was thrown away by my dad's family. There's a lot of lies that have been told about me. For instance, that I said that my daddy molested me. That's a lie. I've never said that shit. He's a bone collector. This is my dad, though, and I love him. But I'm not going to be silenced. So this is not me talking about my father. This is just talking about abuse. Because abuse does not come in physical or sexual form. Abuse comes in psychological, mental, and emotional. I told my father about me being pregnant. When you have a child, you remember those things, those details of when you find out, who you tell, and what happens, right? So we're going to get into this video because it's 3 videos that they made. So we're going to get into the video, and then we're going to come back and we're going to give definitions to a lot of the things that they said. So here is the video.
Question.
What about us staying at the house by ourselves all our life?
Yeah, talk about that one.
So y'all gonna do basically a response to what she said, right?
You know, you and Malcolm know the shit that she said. Ask us the questions that she say.
I'm not in it. My name Jack.
Get
this side, man.
Oh, we're gonna talk about the dick sucking. You can believe that. It's coming out.
You about to knock his shirt off. Oh, lift it up.
I got it. Just let go. Let go.
I
Just
got
let
it.
go.
No,
Watch ya.
there you go.
Hey man, don't leave me hanging, man. We're gonna do this.
I'm just clearing up so we can get a good, nice, professional shot.
Yes, okay.
Exactly.
Close the blinds.
My drink.
That's our environment. We need that.
Will it not make a glare?
Nah, he got the ring camera. We good. We got the back like the news reporters. We showing off the city. You gotta sit up, man. Can't be slashing on camera.
I need to make something. I want to put a... Malcolm, you got a fuck you t-shirt? Anything that got cuss words on it.
She on the way, man. We need to hurry up and get our podcast done so we can
Tiffany's hot shirt yesterday. I put pin it on you.
Do what, baby?
Borrow Tiffany's socks from
Yeah.
yesterday. It says
You
exactly
right,
what you want to do.
Oh, you beat the baby?
It's over here with me. Look at these questions. I'm over here having difficulties about these questions.
You good.
Look at y'all.
Just remember, what does fatherhood mean to you? Ask that one. That's
I already said that.
Okay.
My next one was gonna be.
They got it set up.
How important is it for all your kids to get along.
Yeah, that's a good one.
How is what?
Nothing.
Okay.
What does it mean to support?
If I don't like the question, I'm gonna say I plead the fifth. I'm telling you now.
Yo, you can't do that. It's not
So-
for good content.
Oh, I'm saying I plead the fifth if I don't like the question. No, sir. I want to rebuttal the shit that she talked about. That's all I want to do.
What did she talk about?
Huh?
What did she talk about?
Whew, Lord, what lie I want to start with? She told us the lie that she said, everybody, that I wanted her to abort that baby,
Yeah.
and that she took my ass. I took her, and we was at Judy house, and I went with her to the goddamn doctor, and it was on Father's Day. We went to the doctor, on Father's Day. First of all, you don't remember, Daddy? It was Father's Day,
What doctors are open on Father's Day?
The abortion clinic.
and that's all you asked me. First of all, let's talk about what day she said. It was Father's Day. Next question. Ain't no doctors working on Sunday. It's Father's Day.
Oh, y'all went to the emergency room.
They went to Cornell for abortion.
Y'all went to urgent care.
We want to care now.
What's care now?
Care now.
Urgent care.
When have you ever known me to go to some emergency care?
Hand me one of those little bills out of that top thing, please.
And be sure and ask me about what happened to my brand new Honda Accord.
I'm not asking specific questions like that.
Why?
Because I'm not.
Okay.
These are going to be general questions. I got 3 for you and I got 3 for Lyle.
All right.
I'm gonna answer mine to my best of my abilities.
Huh?
I'm gonna answer mine to the best of my abilities. I can't remember much.
Malcolm, come here.
I'm not in this.
Hey man, no, we all three. Malcolm got to ask some questions too.
No, this is for Lyle.
Okay. So, I don't know what they think. I don't know.
Come on, you got to give me at least 2 questions.
For who? For
For
Al?
Lyle.
I don't got none. I ain't got none for you.
Yeah, just ask me the same questions you ask him. What does fatherhood mean to me? There you go.
I ain't got nothing that should be.
Oh.
Oh, no.
Do you like your other kids? Yes, I do.
I ain't got the most of it.
I got you. Yeah, I'm ready.
What's the question for Lyle? Come on, Malcolm. All right, I'm
Baby,
gonna
you
go
should
on
answer
with
that.
it.
All right, we ready. Let's
We
go.
ready?
Who's
Y'all been
recording?
recording.
Oh, okay.
Man, stop that and start it over.
That's before.
Need your behind the scenes.
Let's get into it. So, let's tell the story about the pregnancy, because he said he doesn't remember. But the narrative that he's giving in this video is not what we talked about. I got pregnant with my son Marcus in December of 2020. No, of 2000. And I had my son December 10th of 2021. I mean of 2001. So my son's birthday is 10/10/01. I got pregnant in the end of December. I know exactly what day I got pregnant by his father. I know exactly what day. And when I was pregnant, I was so behooved, because I was never one of the ones that wanted to be. Y'all, let me stop tugging on my clothes in this video. But I got to. Okay, I'm gonna stop tugging. I was never the one to babysit children or have children in my mix. Like, I never thought that I would be a parent. Like, I didn't think that, because I never saw parenthood, even with him. My dad was never emotionally attached to me or mentally attached to me or anything like that. I'm finna tell y'all the story. Since he wants to tell his side, I'm gonna tell my side, because his side is what I told him, but he's making a narrative to make him feel like whatever he felt or whatever, because he said she said. So let me tell y'all exactly what I said. I come to Dallas. Mind you, this is June. My dad's birthday is in June. Sometimes it's on Father's Day, and sometimes it's like a day or two before Father's Day. Or vice versa. It's a day after Father's Day. It depends on what day Father's Day falls on. But most of the time, my father's birthday falls on Father's Day. And so I'm in Dallas because I am with my son's father's family. And I call him because I know it's Father's Day and I'm in Dallas. And I had on, y'all remember back in like 2000, those wrap dresses where you can wrap them and put the like string? And so my belly was showing. Y'all excuse me for my hiccups. My belly was showing. And so I don't remember what restaurant we were going to. It was like some kind of seafood restaurant. I don't remember what restaurant it was. But we go to the restaurant and me and him are walking in. I know that my stepmother's children are there. I don't remember my brothers being there. I just remember him, my stepmother, and her children, her two children. So me and him we're walking, like I'm on a ramp and he's walking, because you know how sometimes they have the ramp. And so I'm on the ramp and he's on the stairs. So he meets me on the stairs and he's like, I guess he was looking at me as I was going up the ramp, because the ramp is lower than, the walkway. So I guess he's looking at me, right? And mind y'all, I'm like not telling anybody I'm pregnant. Like I'm like doing shit like trying to blink the baby away type shit. And I am 18. Just graduated from high school. So I'm like, this shit is crazy. And I'm not telling this nigga this shit. Like, I'm like, don't have no support. Like, I have no support. That's how I felt. Regardless of and I did have support. I just wanted the support of my family. My mother was in prison at the time. So I was coming back and forth to Dallas all the time because I was living with my grandparents. So that's another story that he tells, that I was living with them. I wasn't. I was living with my grandparents. He asked me, because I guess the wrap, because it's one of those flimsy, those, silk dresses that you kind of tie and it shows your figure, like your stomach figure and your hip area, because it's kind of tight and form-fitting. And so he asked me if I was pregnant. He was like, are you pregnant? And I was like, and in my head, I'm like, damn, who told this nigga? And I was like, yeah, I think I am. And he was like, is it Marcus's baby? And I was like, yeah. And so he hugs me, he embraces me. And we go into the restaurant. He don't tell nobody. We don't talk about it no more. So then that happened. That was a Sunday. So that Tuesday, I guess that night, he talks to his wife, because she's the breadwinner. And she talks to his wife, and they make an appointment for the family physician at Presbyterian Hospital, because that's the hospital that the primary physician is in, at Presbyterian Hospital in Dallas, Texas. I don't remember the doctor's name. I remember trying birth control with him. I had only been to him like once or twice maybe. So this was like the last time I went to him. This was probably the second or the third time I had been to this doctor. And so right off bat, they do a pee thing, and before the results come back, he feels my stomach and he's like, she's definitely pregnant, because I got pregnant in December. January, December. And he, does the exam on my stomach, and he was like, yeah, she's definitely pregnant. My dad, so they do an ultrasound. The ultrasound shows that I'm like 32 weeks along or some shit like that. And so my dad asked, this is on a Tuesday, y'all. This is not that Sunday. This is on that Tuesday, because they made the appointment for me to come in with my stepmother's insurance. So I go, and he was like, my dad asked, does she have any other options? And right off the bat, the doctor was like, no, she's too far along to have an abortion. She can't have an abortion. But here at Presbyterian, because Presbyterian is a religious-based hospital, and so they have adoption agencies on call, on deck. And so he was like, no, she can't have an abortion, but she can put the baby up for adoption. And right off the rip, I'm like, I'm not giving my baby up. So they do an ultrasound. I found out I was that far along, y'all. They find out that I'm having a boy. I'm still scared to tell my son's father. And so I think like that Wednesday or that Thursday, my dad asked me if I told him. And I told him no, I didn't. I call him and I tell him that I'm pregnant. And he was like, we haven't been fucking around with each other. And so that breaks me down. So then that's my dad. I cry to my dad and tell my dad, he thinks this, he doesn't think this is his baby. He's the only person I've been screwing. Like, I'm telling my daddy this shit. And so my dad actually calls my son's father, and he talks to him. So after he talks to him, I get the phone, and he was like, I'm finna come pick you up. So I tell my dad, come to pick me up, came to pick me up, and I have the sonogram, right? And when I showed him the sonogram that it was a boy, his whole demeanor changed. Because he was like, I'm having a boy, because he already had a girl. So he was like, I'm having a boy, blah, blah, blah. I can't believe this. Like, he gonna be a junior, blah, blah, blah. Like, he's so elated. And so I stay in Dallas. I was supposed to leave to go back to San Antonio, to go back to my grandparents' house. But I end up staying in Dallas and staying with my dad and his family. My dad and he's told me that he was embarrassed that I was pregnant. And so it's 4 cars at the house, and I'm told to leave to find a job every day. When everybody else leaves the house to go to work and go to school, I need to leave the house too to go get a job. So at this time, I'm getting bigger because everybody knows and the stress is off. So I'm getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger every day. They're not giving me a car to drive. They're making me catch the bus. I remember one time, my dad was so just like, I guess like something came over him, and we were in the bathroom, and I remember he was just like suffocating me, like about me being pregnant. And I remember like he wouldn't let me out the bathroom, and I ended up throwing up in the tub because I was so overwhelmed. And then I'm catching the bus, trying to find a job, because they like, you need to find a job You need to take care of your baby, blah, blah, blah. So it was only so much I could take of that. And then I was just still going through what I was going through with my son's father. So I ended up going back to San Antonio with my mother and with my mother's family. My mother gets out of prison. My mother was like, I had pictures, and I'm laying in the back when we go pick her up. And my mother was like, I had visions of fish. And so I hadn't talked to my mother. And then I sit up, because we pick her up from state jail, and I pick her up. We pick her up, me and my aunt, my two aunts, and me. We pick her up, and I was like, Mom, I'm pregnant. She embraces me. She loves me. She told me it's going to be okay. So I end up having my baby in San Antonio. But I had my baby not alone, but I had my baby I saw my mucus plug come out. Like, I saw it come out. And, you know, at that time, like right now, everybody's on the doula kick. But at that time, in 2001, 2002, it was like the birth center. The hospitals were separating the birthplace from the hospital. So I had my baby at a birth center. And so I remember having contractions, like they started at like 1 o'clock in the morning. And I was like so sleepy and tired and fat and miserable. And I remember waking up, like I went through the contractions all through the night trying to go to sleep. And I woke up in the morning about 7. And I told my grandmother, I was like, Grandma, I think I'm having contractions. I think I'm gonna have this baby. But no one had talked to my mother. And so I was like, I'm going to the hospital and I think I'm gonna have this baby. So my grandma, she's older, and she was like, well, and I had a car. I had a little hoopty. And so my grandma was like, just call me. Just call me. And I was like, if my mama called, let her know. So I drove myself, contractions and all, to the hospital. My mother makes it there right in time before I had my baby. And so she helps me push. She grabs my baby when they're at the table, and she wraps her finger around my baby. Well, my baby wraps his finger around my mom's finger. So my mother and my son have a bond that's different because he felt her first before me. And it's cool. It is what it is. So I had my baby. My mother was there. So my son's father comes down, like after I get out the hospital, he comes. He's there. And no man has ever stayed at my grandfather's house. But he let my son's father, hold on, I got to toot my throat. Y'all see my cup? This is what my SID sisters gave me. For Boss and the Mother, you said Boss Lady. We selling boss shit right now. So he comes, spends some time. My grandfather does the 1-2 step with him, take out the trash. I don't know what they talked about, but I know my grandpa wasn't easy on him. But my son's father never complained. He stayed there for like 4 days, and he came back to Dallas. And so that's the pregnancy part. So then the part where my dad said about his Honda Accord, this was probably when I was 29. I came to Dallas. He was living with mind you, he was married to my stepmother. He has lived with other women. So he's left my stepmother like 4 times. And so this is one of the women, I think this is one of the last women that he was with. And I went to the strip club. I took Xanax and I was drinking. And I wrecked the fuck out that car, y'all. I wrecked the shit out that car. And I got up that morning to tell him that I had an accident in his car. I didn't tell him my bad. I just told him that I had an accident in your car and that I think it's total. I don't know if I told him it was total, but I think I told him it was bad. And he was like, just as long as you're okay. So he went outside and he saw that the car was fucked up. Like, it was like the airbags had deployed. Y'all, that night, the motherfucker, it was a crackhead that helped me change the tires so that I can get home because I had hit a guardrail. And I didn't lie to him. I didn't tell him that I didn't have an accident. This is another one of his fabricated stories that I didn't tell him. I told him exactly, but I waited till the morning time. I didn't wake him up to tell him what happened. I waited till the morning time and I got up early because I knew I had fucked up, and I told him what happened. So then I go back to San Antonio, and I know my dad's situation was kind of fucked up, but it was like, what can I do about it? Like, I'm struggling with a baby, so with 2 babies at this time, so I really didn't know what to do, what to think, how to handle it, or anything. So that's where that comes from, with that story about his Honda Accord. I did fuck it up. My daughter had an accident in my truck too, but I ain't crucify her. It is what it is. So now, you know, I love y'all, I like y'all, and I like y'all. I'm telling y'all this because women suffer in silence, and we suffer in silence with the people that we feel that love us the most. And sometimes it's narcissistic, and sometimes it's manipulative, and sometimes they make you feel like you're losing your mind and that you don't matter. I'm very self-aware of myself. I'm very self-aware, and I'm very sure of me. So the things that he's telling me, that I'm a liar, that I make up stuff. My dad has even went to the extreme of telling people that I said that he molested me. My dad has never even whooped me. Never whooped me. But that was the extreme that he went to. For whatever reason, it's his. Fine. If someone told you that I said that I molested them, it's a lie. You never molested me. You never molested me. You've never even touched me inappropriately.